Today we're going to break down a pretty wild story. It's about a huge turnaround in U.S. military recruitment, the specific playbook that seems to have sparked it, and the pretty shocking return of an absolute icon to active duty.
It all kicks off with this number, 103%. Now, what if I told you that number represents one of the biggest shifts in the U.S. military in a long, long time? What could possibly be that successful?
Well, that 103% is the average recruitment goal hit across all 5 branches of the military since November 2024. That's the best they've done in 15 years. So let's get into the why and the who behind the surge, based on the material we've got. And get this, it wasn't just one branch carrying all the weight. Not at all. The Army hit 101% of its goal. The Marines and the Air Force both hit their 100% marks. Space Force pulled in 102%, and the Navy? Well, the Navy just crushed it with a massive 108%. You just don't see this kind of success across the board. That's what makes it a huge story. Okay, so numbers like that don't just happen by magic, especially when everyone's been talking about recruiting struggles for years. It really makes you ask the big question, how did this happen? All the information we're looking at points to a massive shift in philosophy, all coming from a brand new playbook.
And that playbook brings us to Pete Hegseth. Even before he became Secretary of War, he had laid out a very specific vision for the military. This vision is being presented as the catalyst, the thing that kicked this whole turnaround into gear. So, what was in it?
This quote really gets right to the heart of the strategy. It's blunt, it's direct, and it calls for a total culture shift. The source material we're looking at points to this as the absolute core idea, a single-minded, unapologetic focus on warfighting as the one and only job of the military. And this wasn't just some vague concept. It was a really clear 4-point plan. The strategy called for removing programs like DIE from military academies, rolling back combat standards to where they were in 1995, kicking off a new wave of marketing, and completely rebuilding the military's culture to get back the trust of young people who might want to join.
And you can see it right here. The branches that blew past their goals the most were the Navy, Space Force, and the Army. This success is being framed as a direct result of young people responding to this new, clearer mission. But, a strategy is one thing. You also need a symbol.
So if you're trying to send a message of pure toughness, of discipline, of nothing but the mission, who do you look to? Who becomes the face of that? The answer is just as surprising as those recruitment numbers.
This is the part of the story where the high-level strategy gets a human face. And let me tell you, it's a very, very determined human face.
That's right, David Goggins. At 51 years old, the retired Navy SEAL, the global motivational powerhouse, re-enlisted in the Air Force. He needed an age waiver, and he got one. He went back to active duty quietly, and when the news finally got out, the veteran community just went absolutely nuts.
To really get why this is such a mind-blowing development, you kind of have to understand the almost mythical career of David Goggins. This isn't just some tough guy. His military journey is truly like no one else's. I mean, look at this. The U.S. military itself confirms he's the only person to ever complete Navy SEAL training, Army Ranger School, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. Just finishing one of those is an incredible life achievement. To finish all 3, that's legendary status. And his path was not some straight line to success. He actually struggled a lot his first time in the Air Force and left feeling like a total failure. It was only after hitting that rock bottom that he completely remade himself to become a Navy SEAL. His whole story is about clawing his way back from failure, which makes him coming back at 51 even more powerful. So the same guy who left the military in 1999 feeling defeated and lost comes back as a living, breathing symbol of the exact ethos the military is now pushing: resilience, a relentless drive, and just pure, uncut toughness.
And this is where it all ties back into the big picture. Goggins' personal brand, the one built around his Stay Hard motto, it lines up perfectly with this cultural shift back to warfighting first. He's not just another recruit. He's the message. And yeah, this quote is pure Goggins. It's raw, it's in your face, and it's a call to action. It's exactly this mindset of pushing past your limits and refusing to be comfortable that our source material connects to this new interest in serving. He's since gone completely dark on all social media, which probably means he's deep in some kind of insane training right now. So what does all this add up to?
The story being presented here suggests that maybe inspiration doesn't come from being comfortable, but from having a crystal clear, incredibly demanding mission, and from seeing individuals who live that standard every single day. It leaves us with one last question to think about. Is this the new formula? A clear-cut playbook and an undeniable legend. Is that what it takes to inspire a new generation?